Google just can't give us a break. About 2 months ago, they blessed us with the best model in the open source world with the best license ever. And after a few weeks, they made a new update on the same models where they literally tripled the model's speed by introducing a brand new architecture. And now they're back with another one. Google released a new model from the same Gemma 4 family they released weeks ago, and it comes with many great updates. If you remember the last release, they released 4 models, the E2B, E4B, 26B, and 31B. The first two, E2B and E4B, were the fastest with the capability of understanding images, audio, and video, and they were even thinking models despite their size, which you could even run on Android. The second group, 26B and 31B, were the more advanced, capable of complex tasks and also more resource-consuming. You need around 24 gigabytes of RAM to run them, while the tiny ones only required about 4 gigabytes. And the new model is the perfect balance, sitting right in the middle of all these models and coming with a breakthrough that none of them had. This new model is Gemma 412B, and it has 3 major updates. Let's look at them. So the first one is visual and audio understanding. Most models we use today, especially the open source ones, don't understand images and audio natively. They need a middle translator that converts the media into something the AI's brain can process, an encoder in technical terms. Sometimes models can't even take this media at all. For example, DeepSeek. Recently, they added a separate visual model on the platform, but naturally the main model can't take any visual or sound inputs. In contrast, Google added visual understanding on their last release of Gemma, which is great, but it wasn't perfect because the model was using a separate 550 million parameters encoder to process images and another 300 million parameters for audio. 3 separate things running at once, burning memory and slowing everything down. But the new Gemma 12B model fixed all of that. The updated version now understands images, audio, and video natively without any translator or encoder. That means less memory, less latency. And when you fine-tune this thing, you're tuning one brain instead of a brain plus 2 separate translators that don't even get updated. It's all unified. Text, image, audio, one pipeline. This is called an encoder-free architecture, and it's a real technical change, not just a marketing thing. And this thing implicitly makes the second update from past Gemma 4 releases by itself. On the last version of Gemma 4, only the tiny edge models could take audio, the ones that weren't really capable enough to do much with it. The bigger models like the 26B and 31B couldn't process audio at all. They were basically deaf. But now, Gemma 12B can fully understand audio natively. So now you have a model that's actually smart enough for real coding and reasoning, and it can listen to you. That's a big deal. The next update is speed. Getting rid of the encoder by itself boosts the speed, but Google added a dedicated speed improvement on top of it. The 12B model implements MTP drafters, a speed-boosting technique where the model predicts multiple words at once instead of one by one. Think of it like typing. Instead of hitting one key at a time, it's typing whole words. Makes local inference feel way snappier, especially when you're running this on your own machine. The hardware requirement is also the reason this model makes sense. You need about 16 gigabytes of VRAM to run it, which means a MacBook Pro with an M chip or a laptop with a modern GPU handles it just fine. That's the sweet spot Google was targeting. The 26B and 31B models from April were great, but needed more hardware than most people have at home. This one doesn't. In fact, Google says it delivers performance nearly on par with their much larger 26B model, but it uses less than half the memory footprint. That is a massive deal. You're getting near flagship intelligence on consumer hardware without having to offload everything to a cloud API. Also, it's not just about speed and size. Gemma 412B keeps the great features from the family, like a 256K context window, which means you can feed it huge documents or code bases, and native function calling for building agents that can actually use tools and APIs. Benchmarks are solid too. MMLU Pro at 77.2%, GPQA Diamond at 78.8%, AIME 2026 Math at 77.5%. And this fits on a laptop with 16 gigabytes. That's wild. Plus, it's all open source under the Apache 2.0 license, so you can use it for commercial projects without looking over your shoulder. And to make it even easier, Google also released a skills repository specifically to help developers build agents with this thing. Plus, they launched actual macOS desktop apps like the Google AI Edge Eloquent app that let you just click and start talking to the model entirely offline. And it also supports over 140 languages out of the box. So how can you run it? The easiest one is using Ollama. Just run this command on your terminal. It downloads and runs completely offline. If you don't have Ollama, you can download it from ollama.com. I'll put both the install command and the website link in the description. It's officially recommended to have 16 gigabytes of RAM to run this model, but if you don't have enough VRAM, you still have options. Unsloth released quantized versions of the model, basically compressed versions that need way less memory. The Q4 version is only 6.6 gigabytes on disk, and it runs on as little as 8 gigabyte of RAM. And if you really want to push it, they even have a 2-bit version, just 4.66 gigabytes, and that runs on anything above 6 gigabytes. So pretty much any modern machine can run this thing in some form. Speed-wise, community testing is showing around 21 tokens per second on an RTX 4060. That's just a mid-range consumer GPU, which is more than fast enough for real conversations, coding, and image analysis. If you want a proper interface instead of a terminal, LM Studio works too. Download it, open the app, search for Gemma 12B, and download it from there. And if you're on macOS, Google also released it on their AI Edge Gallery app, so you can run it with a clean native interface without touching a terminal at all. Or if you just want to test it before downloading anything, you can try it on Google AI Studio first. I'll put all the links in the description. So, to wrap this up, why should you care about Gemma 412B if you already know about the original launch? Because it hits the absolute sweet spot. It's smart enough to do real work, it hears and sees natively without clunky encoders slowing it down, and it actually fits on the hardware you already own. It takes the best parts of the tiny models and the big models and mashes them together. If you've been waiting for a reason to ditch cloud AI and start running things locally, this might just be it. Anyway, that's what I have for today. This is my new YouTube channel where I cover AI news as it happens, so don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.